Guess who's back? Motherfuckers, we're back. Not that anybody ever watches this that they would know, but our whopping 4 viewers on the last.
They will watch it one day,
I think
though.
3 of those views were from me. Yeah, a little COVID fly, so we decided to take a little again. But we are back in the place to be, and we get everything adjusted so you can see this beautiful man. Those of you who don't know, we are 3 dudes in a record store, or on a or in your head, or wherever. Yeah. We can be wherever we want to be.
It's just a proverbial record store.
Yeah, we are back with a vengeance. Hopefully, getting this back into full swing again. We've got a lot of catching up to do with you. Got some notable album releases, some notable deaths. Before we get into all that, tell the people how you been, man. What's going on? Little preview of things to come.
Little teaser right there.
Teaser.
I've been good, man. Doing my thing. Just trying to juggle all things with balance.
Man,
take care of all the business.
Every time you put in the mix, you never know when things are gonna shift in a heartbeat.
Yeah, my kids, that stuff's pretty low key these days. But just had my oldest 18.
Damn.
So we
Mine just turned that 13.
Yeah.
What's your kid's birthday?
5th.
August 12th.
All right. And he grew up fast. We had a nice dinner. Went to the river the next day.
Mortality's coming for us all. I barely remember what it was like to be that age.
Man, it's less and less.
Less and
I'm
less.
Remembering it less and less.
So should we start with the bad?
I suppose we'll get the bad out of the way.
So we've been gone for a while, and there are some heavy names on the list. A vocalist for Trouble and the Skull,
no shit.
Eric Ward, 62.
Did not hear of that one.
COVID complications. Dusty Hill, bassist and vocalist for ZZ Top.
Now, man, that wasn't that long ago. It seems like it was a while ago. That one hit me hard, dude.
That one was tough, out of nowhere.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, those guys are old, but
if you've noticed over the course of the last year that I have been getting quite ZZ Top-esque. I have a bass. Guys, if you need someone, give me a call. I got the beard ready.
Yeah, you can slide him right in.
Can't really play or sing, but neither could Sid Vicious, so fuck it.
That still was a bad man.
Drummer extraordinaire. At the ripe young age, 80 watts.
Yeah.
That one was kind of rough. The Rolling Stones were one of the first. That was really kind of like, oh yeah, these guys are cool.
Yeah, kind of just like his drumming. You thought he would just be holding it down forever,
Yeah, they got super uncool super quick though. Mike Howe, vocalist of Metal Church. Metal Church is seemingly snake bitten with the very first vocalist passed away. Now their second.
Yeah, that one was touching to me because I actually had met Mike a couple times. He actually moved to Eureka a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago or something, and came into my store a couple times. Said who he was, but in a really, chill way. He wasn't like, I'm the lead singer of Metal Church.
He was an amazing, just super humble, super.
Yeah, really seemed like
super
really
cool.
Seemed like it. He was a family man too. And
man, he was only 55.
Yeah,
bro, 55. And last but certainly not least, 46. Another drummer, Joey Jordison, Slipknot. Man, 46 years old, dude.
If it's a factor of aging as we get older, more relevant deaths seem to occur, or we're aware of more people dying. But it just seems like when we were young, I don't know about like somebody's grandparents or something like that.
Yeah.
But lately, it just feels like people are dropping off, man.
Yeah, and then what? Yesterday, day before, Michael K. Williams, the actor.
Yeah, the actor from The Wire.
Cedric Ceballos is in the hospital, been in ICU for 10 years, basketball player.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
These fucking COVID deniers and anti-vaxxers, shit's catching up with them. Dummies.
Gotta be safe.
Notable album releases, and then one notable non-album release that is coming.
So you don't even work in a record store.
I don't.
You're on top of releases.
I might be. This one.
I might not be aware of any.
If you tell me that you're not aware of this, so
I know what you're talking about. All right.
In what has transpired over the course, because we never are in touch. We're constantly texting and talking and bullshitting. Iron Maiden drops a song out of there. Like, all right, not bad, not bad. And then, Jutsu. There's the front, there's the back.
So
making you miss Derek Riggs.
Yeah, we talked about that before our hiatus.
The double disc version.
Did we talk about that?
That'd be with Derek Riggs. First off, it's too dark. You can't see any detail. There's no background. It's just,
there's never been a Derek Riggs piece of Maiden art
where
that didn't have
there's just to it.
Yeah.
There's just
I
mean, it's not terrible, but God, it could be better.
The fact that they would sign off on that.
This just is reminiscent of Book of Souls with just a bigger mouth. Go listen to this. They're I don't really care. I've heard all the bad and all the good. I'll tell you this, I enjoy it. It's not really, it's pretty typical of what they've done. It's not going to blow you away, but it doesn't suck. I really do wish, on the Derek Riggs issue, get rid of this fucking user. He's fucking trash. And he's allowing you to phone it in. They're not being pushed in the studio. You can tell they're not being pushed in the studio, probably because they don't want to be, because they don't have to be. But man, if you just hone some of this shit in, maybe sped the tempo up a little bit, and you a classic.
That's kind of a weird.
But I do dig it.
It's kind of a weird thing to get to a point where, they're honestly still an exciting live band.
Yeah,
that's probably their main motivation is to keep putting on great lives. So maybe they feel that the album is just kind of this secondary thing. Like, we can write some songs, we can put an album out there, we can play the best songs live on that tour. But maybe they could try a little harder.
The problem with, and I'm not, obviously I don't talk to these people, and they don't really want to be spoken to. They don't really want to be interviewed real. They just want the phone it in kind of shit. Yeah. But I really would like to have an earnest where there's nobody's getting defensive. Not that I don't like it, but when we were growing up, every Maiden record sounded a little. You knew it was Maiden, but it sounded a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
And they were pushing the boundaries. They were doing things with song structures, and now it just seems like they've carbon copied. Since Brave New World, they just have carbon copied for the most part, and you get the intros for every damn song now, and you get the same twiddly solos, and I mean it's not terrible. It's enjoyable. I enjoy it. I fucking rock out to it, but
I've heard of it,
I don't fall in love with it.
What I've heard of it didn't make me jump up and down, but I guess it it's good. It wasn't.
I was happy to have a new Maiden record
It's
after 6 years.
yeah.
You mean
I
that?
guess I was fumbling trying to say,
But
that
I didn't hate. I didn't hate
Book of Souls.
Book of Souls.
Yeah.
I thought that one was good, but
I-
it's the same issue. You're not.
Yeah.
There's no real. You don't feel this, like, what do we say about Metallica? You're not young and hungry anymore, and and you surround yourself with yes men, and nobody's pushing you.
Yeah, I suppose so. So I guess a huge compliment to say it this way, but it's definitely not a case of making a complete trash record.
No,
like, what the hell happened to
no,
these guys? It's just sort of stayed. It's like they keep doing the Maiden
with
thing.
the exception of the Final Frontier, which I hate. They don't put out very many horrible records.
I don't know what it is. It's like that factor in the material of the past that made so many indelibly standout songs, whereas today it's kind of like they all sort of just fold into the, but it's good stuff.
Homogenous.
Maiden's rules. We still love Maiden.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously you see that I purchased it in 1981. The young age of 9.
Is that when you got your one?
No. The band dissolved and went to the four winds, so to speak. 40 years later, the obsession with this band worldwide has not died down. The cacophony of noise from a retirement, if you will, to reform, release songs with an album forthcoming in November.
Sometimes you just dive in and I'm like, what?
Yep, I love it.
Where's he going with this?
ABBA's back, bitches.
Dude, we didn't know their show on it, but so far, the reaction in the last week, as it's gone through social media and people talking about it, I've seen a lot of just genuine, honest joy that they're doing. But then I see some people kind of putting out these snappy comments about, like, all the middle-aged men are excited to hear some new fluffy ABBA tune or something like that. This is a case for me, kind of in contrast to what we were talking about with Maiden, where it's actually exciting to me that they sound just like what you want ABBA to sound like.
I was resistant, to be honest, when they said they were putting out new music. I almost did not want to listen to it because I was like, "Oh, what are you gonna?" And the first song I wasn't, over the top about, and the second song I listened to, and when we were talking about it, he says to me, "It's like they never went away. It's like they didn't try to reinvent their sound. They didn't try to do anything. They said, this is what we do. We're bringing it back." And it sounds like it's 93 and it's time for them to put out a new record.
But I liked that
40 years.
40 years later.
Still sound amazing.
I liked that it had a quality of being reflective of what they experienced in their day, and then the fact that they've been basically missing each other for all these years. Of course, they had to get over a lot of shit.
But
a lot of shit. Yeah, man, I was quite pleased. Like, even being able to recapture that production quality without sounding phony about it, without sounding like they just put it through some filter to sound like ABBA. It's like they're probably still using the same techniques because that's what they know, and the principal songwriter, they're just doing what they know, how they feel the music that they like to make. So I'm stoked, dude. I don't think it's a cheesy thing to be excited about ABBA.
Bittersweet. It's bittersweet for sure. Because you can see in the gray and the beard, well, I'm like, it's been 40 years, man. Where you been? The hell?
Yeah, I could see too that there's maybe in some of the fan base of ABBA today, maybe something that wasn't there before. Like it's like people have kind of discovered ABBA newly in a way. Like we're just recently started to realize how great they were.
Think about that. We are of the age where we remember them when they were. There's a whole section of their fan base that never that weren't alive when they were even.
But I can't say that I was a fervent ABBA fan all these years. I heard them on the radio all the time when I was a kid. I had some ABBA phase like 25 years ago or something. And then for some reason, more recently, they kind of came to me like, I need this music right now. It feels so good. And so I kind of became a born again ABBA fan, I would say. But I realized I've always enjoyed them. It's just,
you finally gave them their.
Well, it's like, it just kind of came back around again. And now it's at a point where I don't think I will ever feel less fond of this music. The great songs.
I think the only reason why we haven't done an ABBA episode is because we don't want to do an ABBA episode, because then we won't be able to do another one. It'll be over.
That's a good point. Man.
But like we will say it a million times, ABBA's the greatest pop group ever assembled.
Yeah, that is my absolute firm opinion.
You can't.
And
can't touch them.
It's also cool when you realize your buddy who's a metalhead and into punk music and stuff, and you go, "Oh, you have it too?" I mean, it doesn't mean that there's boundaries on what Greg likes. He likes everything, but it's just that, oh shit, I didn't know you were an ABBA fan.
I think it's so much of that lends itself to. I like all kinds of metal, but sometimes some of that melodic metal really hits that sweet spot, and I'm probably like, I probably have a for that. My love of harmonics.
Well, and the critical acclaim that they have amongst musicians has been strong for a long time too. So
it's that I want people to jump on the bandwagon or anything, but when you see guys like Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters giving the Bee Gees their love, as they should be. Bee Gees made some great music. What would like a metallized version of ABBA? I don't know. Dave Grohl could pull it off.
Dude, I think ABBA could pull it off.
They might be able to.
If ABBA wanted to make a heavy metal style record, I think they would do it well.
Let's shift. Saw a little.
Why are we here? What's this episode about? I got this cool shirt in the mail today.
There's a lot of purity to what he brings to the table. He likes things in where I like a lot of different eras. A huge Zeppelin fan, big metalhead. For me, when I think about greatest frontmen, and that's everything. Your vocal talents, the way you hold the stage, the show you put on. David Lee Roth might be the greatest frontman in music ever.
He's a fairly controversial figure.
And to that, we decided, let's do an all DLR episode. So here we are.
Yeah, all Van Halen DLR years.
So we have got the 7 DLR records ranked, and then 5 tracks. Did I read honorable mentions on the
better have
top 5?
I wrote a whole bunch.
Yes, top 5 tracks. So this is how we'll do this. We'll do honorable mentions for songs. Then we will read
Then we'll go head to head
on our favorite songs, and then we'll go into the albums, and at some point we'll read the Maniacs list because I have that as well.
Okay, I can tell you right away.
Okay.
that my list of top Van Halen songs, top 5 plus the honorable mentions, will probably be the kinds of songs that a lot of people would have on their list, kind of the jump out bangers. I'm giving that away right off the bat, but that's to make the point that I know this guy's got some deep sleeper cuts in his list.
Did somebody get esoteric?
Guaranteed.
Did the mantle?
He's going to be throwing out some tracks. You're like, what? Okay, well, all right.
In that case, why don't we just read honorable mentions?
Okay, so are we going to rank the albums
after the song? So I'll read my honorable mentions. You can read your honorable mentions. Then we'll go 1-to-1, head-to-head on our songs. We'll read the Maniacs list. And
I think I actually have 13 honorable mentions. I went a little over.
Oh, you went heavy. Okay. All right.
I was trying to make 15, but I basically wrote down every one of my most favorite Van Halen.
I wait to hear it. Well, I only have 5, so in 5th, there's no rules. You do what you want.
Trying to keep some continuity.
Everybody wants some. Diver Down.
One of my favorite Van songs for sure.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that was used in Better Off Dead, that John Cusack movie.
No doubt.
Awesome. DOA, number 4 from VH2. The next 2 honorable mentions, you're going to be like, you're on crack. Both 3 and 2 are from the album 1984. In 3rd, Panama.
Whoa, all right.
Just amazing track. Just the breakdown in the middle of that song.
Yep,
so good.
Yeah.
So good. 2, doesn't love the drum intro for Teacher.
Yeah.
Scorching solo by the master. And my number 1 honorable mention, again from Diver Down, Where Have All the Good Times Gone?
It's a great tune. That one didn't make my list, but I love that tune.
But you can see with we talked about ABBA, they do so well in layering and mixing those vocals. Van Halen takes that same thing and then does it with hard rock, with the influx of not only their lead singer, but both Van Halen brothers can sing backup. Michael Anthony was a great backup vocalist.
He gets a lot
harmonize.
Of Michael Anthony gets the credit for that high harmony vocal, but Eddie Van Halen's doing it too. He doesn't get the credit for it, but it's really all of them. And damn, dude, I mean,
10 honorable mentions. I can't wait to hear this.
There's more than that, I think. I just basically went through and looked at all the track lists and picked out the songs that are the ones that I always go to, the ones that kick my ass. So I didn't rank them.
Okay.
So we got Jamie's Crying.
All right, good one.
Let's Get Me a Doctor.
Yes.
This kind of trippy instrumental on Fair Warning called Sunday Afternoon. Take Your Whiskey Home. That's one of my. So some of these was hard. Like, which ones are not in the top 5?
There are not a whole lot of bad Van Halen songs.
On Fire, I'm the One, Ain't Talking About Love. That's huge. This one I think is a lot of people's favorites. Unchained.
Love.
Talk about the Michael Anthony
amazing
backup
riff.
vocals. Yeah, it's got a killer riff too. Hang 'em High, of course. Damn it, this should be in my top 5 just because it's just one of their most massive tunes. It was hugely influential. Hot for Teacher, of course.
Yeah.
The song Jump. That's a great pop tune, dude.
That's an amazing.
I never get bored of it either. It could be on the
Ever.
radio. I play it myself pretty regularly. And then you mentioned this one, Dead or Alive. That song rules. And then the final one of my honorable mentions is Out of Love.
Yeah.
A lot of other interesting, less like hard rockin' Van Halen tunes that are great, but these are that just always get my blood pumping, man. And then the top 5, dude. It's like a couple of these I wanted to be in there, but wasn't enough room.
Fit them.
5 is a definitive number.
Let's read the Maniacs top 5.
Yeah.
Maniacs top 5. Number 5, Hot for Teacher.
Yeah.
4, Jamie's Crying.
Good man.
3, Dan.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it's all right.
2, Ain't Talking About Love.
Yeah.
And number 1, he has Panama.
Man, you guys both agree on Panama. It's a top tune.
Top tune.
You're right, dude. That breakdown is iconic. That would be a good word for it. Easing the seat back.
So good. That little guitar.
That video was so huge when it came out too. I mean,
yeah, like every video from that. What they did, at least 3, right?
Jump, Panama, and Hot for Teacher. I don't know. Another one.
Should have done what? Drop Dead Legs. That should have been friggin'.
Yeah. Drop Dead Legs, All Way, Top Jimmy. Those are all dope tunes too. But
my number 5 probably make anybody's list. I don't know why. It starts off with an incredible little guitar intro. For whatever reason, it just hits all of my cylinders. And it's little guitars.
Okay.
From Diver Down.
Diver Down. I didn't listen to every single Van Halen track before putting this list together, so I'd have to refresh my memory on that tune.
And I can hear that song in my head.
I'm sure I recognize it right up.
Such amazing
it's
guitar
got a little
on that
intro
one.
Before it busts in. I'm down with. All right. I didn't actually number these, so I'm just going to rank them. I'll say my number 5 is Loss of Control. You know that.
I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah. Lost Control. Control.
Yep.
That song is a ripper, man. The composition of it, like most ripping Van Halen tunes, it's always got little curveballs in there. Recently, video was going around excerpted from the Mr. Bungle Halloween concert performance where they bust out a rendition of Loss of Control.
The one they did, what, a year, 2 years ago, right before the bank in Warfield?
Well, this was...
or when they were still in school.
No, this was... they pretended that they were playing at the Eureka Library, but it was filmed somewhere else. It was a little teaser thing. It was a pay-per stream on, I think, last Halloween. Yeah, getting close to a year ago. Yeah.
All right, number 4 in my song list from Women Childers. And the Cradle Will Rock.
And that's not even on my freaking list, my big list of honorables, dude. I love And the Cradle Will Rock. That's one of the greatest tunes. See, there's too many.
There's so many, dude.
To narrow them down.
You have to cut so many out.
Because I think, and this would be the case with some other bands we love with a lot of great tunes, but they have so many great songs that are equally as good as another one. You can't say this one, I can bump this one because this one's better.
Depending on how you feel during the...
Just And the Cradle. That is a classic, dude. That was on, because at some point, some years back, I had myself a Van Halen mixtape of all my favorite tunes.
Odds.
And that one was definitely in there. Nice one, dude. All right, okay.
I love it when you get to that, like, damn.
Well, that's how something dope. I'm like, yes. That's what I'm talking about. Except I just put it on my damn list.
That's what I'm here for. Pick
up
those little nuggets you forget about.
I know. You do that real well. I think the next one, what I should pick for number 4 will be Running with the Devil.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
I mean, that's the first Van Halen anybody would have heard back in the day.
Man, they started that record off with that song, didn't they?
I think so.
What a fucking way to start a record.
That's just...
That And driving bass.
Oh,
Don't,
oh,
Oh,
Dude.
dude, you get the goosies.
God. And that shows off the shit that Michael Anthony did on bass, dude. Those
Dude.
little, I mean, he played killer bass lines, bass riffs, but it's more about those little sound throws in
There's
there.
a part of me like I don't look. I get what Eddie was trying to do with putting Wolf in the band. He wanted to hang out with his kid, and he's proud of his kid. And I have zero problems with Wolf Halen. And that album he just put out is, I haven't picked it up yet, but it's getting high praise. And what I've heard of it, I really liked.
Yeah.
And but they did Mike wrong. They did Michael Anthony real wrong, and I still don't think he gets the respect he deserves. I mean, Jack Daniels bass, bro. Like,
Dude, I mean,
one of the best bands in the whole hard rock era.
Because he is a back end. He is holding it down bass player, but at the same time, he has some skills. He has these chops. He has these little ideas that he lets really add to the song. Like if you took that stuff out of these songs, it would be missing, man. Before coming over here, I was thinking about Eddie Van Halen will always be thought of as the heart and soul of this band.
Yeah.
His guitar playing obviously is predominant, but Alex and Michael both contributed shit that is so unique. You couldn't. They were only in that band, and they did shit like nobody else would do shit.
I think that Eddie gets much of the focus that you really forget how much there's some volatile chemistry going on that you have to be so precise. Because he is so good that they let it get away from them. Now, not only is he amazing, but you've got a great front man. You've got a drummer who would probably get way more praise than he did if he wasn't playing in the band, because Eddie's getting all the attention.
Yeah.
And then the entire rhythm section is so tight, and none of it gets lost in the mix.
No.
You can hear everything. Everything stands out.
Dude, that's another too. Talking about production, man. Somehow across all of those albums, they got the production right. This snare drum just cuts through like other snare. He only used really cymbals, even for his crashes. So there's never any, light sounding cymbal sounds. They're too bright. It creates this wall of cymbal overtones, but then the bell of his ride is really distinct, dude.
Yeah,
every little detail of this band was on point, man. All right, so that was my number 4.
That was your number 4. So my number 3, heartbreakingly, I had to put the song at number 3 because I kind of wanted to put it at number 1, but then
it went from 1 to 3.
Yeah, it's so like that, such an edge of a razor blade. From Fair Warning, Unchanged. You want to see some crazy shit? Watch that. What is it? Video from 78 or whatever, when they played Oakland Stadium. That live version of that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, forget about it.
That is a dope tune, dude. It's almost like a sleeper secret tune that the real Van Halens knew about for a long time, and then finally other people started catching on. And it's got one of the best examples of that 3-part thing. That's a good number 3. My number 3, I'm going with Mean Streets off of the same album. It's the lead off tune. Just has a killer riff. I don't know. You like Mean Streets? Not a top 5er?
I don't know.
I just go with that song a lot. Down on Mean Streets. Don't worry about tomorrow because we're sick of these 4 walls. All right. He loves trying to make me feel uncomfortable.
Oh, because he knows. Number 2, when we talk about harmonies from Van Halen 2, Dan Hideaway. Just the fucking the harmony, the way they said, for a hard rock band on their second album to have the balls to put that song on it and it be so damn good.
Yeah. Well, there's this element of it also. If it was like kind of more of the what's the right word? I was almost going to say fetish, but the nostalgic love that David Lee Roth had for 50s and 60s rock, or maybe the whole band did. I mean, but a lot of those Van Halen tunes that aren't rippers, they're more pop tunes. I don't really want to say they're bubblegum, but they really harken back to, early rock and roll groups,
they took
Motown,
what they dug, and then they put a little hard rock flourish on it. Yeah, while keeping the sense of what it was.
Yeah, man.
Great track.
Dude, didn't make my honorable list, but I almost wanted to put You Really Got Me in there because obviously their song is The Kinks, but that's one of those examples where they almost made the definitive version of the song, or at least
I don't even really like the Kinks that much, but covering that is.
I'm a big Kinks fan, but yeah.
I don't know if you remember, because you're only like a couple years younger, but you couldn't go to remember skating parties? They would have you'd go to the Muni.
Yeah, the roller skating party.
Yeah. It seemed like everyone from 5th grade to 8th grade.
Yeah.
You couldn't go to that and not hear Dance the Night Away. That shit would play at least once.
Yeah. That is a great tune.
And you did. You wanted to dance the night. You wanted to feel those feels. To hold hands with a girl.
After about the first hour it took me to actually be able to skate around the room.
I don't ever remember skating at those things. I remember standing.
Well, I don't know what I was doing.
In the corner with Scott Garrison wearing metal t-shirts and wondering why girls like us. Because we were wearing metal t-shirts and we weren't skating. Probably why.
I was probably trying too hard to get a little bit of a wink and a nod. Yeah, never really happened for me. I probably held it a couple times.
Never got any handholds at the skating party.
What were your priorities?
Janine Day eluded me. She skated too fast.
Man.
I could never quite catch up to her.
That's a feeling, man. Even if it was a tough time, that's a feeling we will never get back in our life, man.
No.
Junior high crushes and hoping a girl likes you.
Purity and innocence of, you're not even worried about.
I don't think I would want to go back to it again. But.
Can I do it with the same people?
Yeah.
I don't want to do it now.
Oh, man. The same cute girls are there. And you're like, let's have a little redo here.
Hey, I've hung out with a lot of them. They're beautiful women now, and they all got gorgeous and wonderful husbands. And kind of cool having me around is because you're I'm always like a dog you just kind of keep in the yard on chain, knowing that somebody's stepping out of line. I'm there. Now I gotta rough a dude up a little bit.
Good, I'll be hitting you up. I need help, bro.
For real.
Shit, that was your number.
That was my number 2. Dance the Night Away.
All right,
St. Bernard Elementary School skating parties.
I'm down to, man. As awkward as I felt, and sometimes felt like it didn't go the way I hoped. I wasn't even hoping for that much, right?
But
my memories are still very fond.
Fucking bar was can I talk to a girl? Can I hold hands with a girl? Not wearing a Wasp t-shirt, dumbass. really fucking.
I don't even think I had a cool rock shirts by that point when I was 12, 13. Started picking those up when I was 13 to 14, I guess. I think one of the first shirts I ever got was a Sex Pistols shirt.
Man, you went hard.
I discovered Sex Pistols. I remember getting Appetite for Destruction and Nevermind the Bullocks at the same time on tape. Listen to those back to back. Man, my top 2 are massive Van Halen tunes.
Oh, okay.
For me,
all right.
if not everybody. So this one, dude, the first time I really discovered this song, it's just like, what is going on? It has this riff that just has this really dark, but just kind of aggressive, hard feel to it. But what I discovered about this song that made me love it even more is there are those original Gene Simmons produced demos.
Yeah, from before when they were still called Mammoth.
Were they?
I think that was their first name.
Well, I found them, digital bootleg that it was, Van Halen, Gene Simmons demos, they call it. This song was on that collection of about 6 or 7 demo tracks, and then it appeared as the final song on 1984, the last original DLR Van Halen record, the song House of Pain.
Wow, that made it that long.
Yeah.
Didn't even make it on the first record.
No, they didn't record it in the studio till
unleashed it
and put it out as the very final song, and it's a bit different. They actually reworked it a bit by that point.
Yeah, well, you get so good at what you do by then you can take older material and kind of writing. Very interesting. My number one. Somebody say fair warning. Fair warning. Mean Streets. Oh, that's
why you were looking at me like that.
That song is so, dude. Just the little flittering intro.
You were giving me the ambient.
I know.
Look, not the you fucked up look.
No, man.
Sometimes those looks are the same.
It's playing possum, playing coy.
Yeah.
No, dude, that song is just impossibly good. Impossibly good.
Yeah. That
might be their hardest record. That might be their
it is, but
their most metallic record.
Yeah, I suppose so. In recent years, the kind of hipster set has declared, "Nah, Fair Warning's the best Van Halen record." Yeah. I mean, I can easily see it being the best Van Halen record from a, but it's got some so-so songs on it, and then it's got some really kick-ass songs. So,
I
think the song "Mean Streets" puts the edge on that record as being as awesome as it is. All right, dude. Well, that made my top 5 at least. I had to put this song at number 1 because I just think it gives the kind of hard rock that Van Halen was doing at that time an edge that put them in this different world. And it also is the tone set by David Lee Roth himself. It sets the tone of his overall sort of mood, if you will.
His mood.
Yes. Atomic Punk.
Okay. I don't know if that would have been number 1, but
it is number 1, dude. You just forgot to put it number 1 on your list. It's not necessarily the greatest Van Halen song, but to me, it's off the first record. Had anybody heard a song like Punk, I go to that song, and every time I listen to it, I go, this song is just so fucking weird and rad. And
there's like you can take a hard rock has a wide swath with probably as much as metal has, where metal has its like metal itself is categorized within its own category.
Yeah.
So melodic metal, death metal, traditional heavy metal, all these different things. Hard rock does so much of that same stuff, and
yeah, for sure.
And seemingly doing all of it at the same time as Van Halen. You can't put them almost police put them into one thing. They become,
dude, that's a good point. Yeah,
like you were saying with the 80s bands, when we were doing our 80s, you were like hard rock but with pop sensibilities. And a lot of times you don't get that with your hard rock bands.
Yeah. To even a band like that, all of these brilliant albums, all these brilliant tunes, but they're coming from it's a sound they defined. I'm not saying it's a one note type of a trick they're doing. It's just Van Halen more so than a lot of groups did exactly what you're talking about. They pulled all these little interesting values into.
When we talk about Slayer, we love the fact that Slayer never really tweaked their sound very much. They matured as they went along, but they were kind of always, you just knew.
Yeah.
Because they, not one note, but it was, they had a thing.
Yeah.
Some bands don't have.
I wonder if Kerry King ever was like, guys, I really want to try something. Tom Murray's like, no.
I think it was the other way around, where everyone was like, well, let's do this or this. And he was like, no, dude, this is what we do. Yeah. Let's just do it.
You want a paycheck or not?
Yeah. I mean, Kerry King, if you're out there and you want to be on the show and talk about it, for sure.
Don't get mad, Kerry.
So we started this as 6 records, then I brought up the fact that they're in so 07, but we didn't tell the Maniac that. So here are the Maniac's top 6.
Why you keep the Maniac in the dark like that?
It's fun. He has Diver Down for 6, Fair Warning at 5, 2 at 4, 1 at 3, Women in Leaf at number 1.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, he likes the pop hook.
He does.
He likes the shit that makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
So you have to start at 7. Where do you start? I basically built my list 6, and then we decided to throw this one in. I decided I was just going to put it at 7.
Yeah.
And it's not because there are no bad DLR Van Halen records, and I actually listened to this one a bit. It's for the fact that it's not. I don't consider it a Van Halen record of the time. Every other they were putting it out as this is just recycled.
I think they made a good choice approaching it that way.
I agree.
Better to that maybe than to go
try to rewrite.
If they didn't,
and it's good. Some of the stuff you're like, man, you should just throw that on a record while you were making the record.
In case somebody watching this doesn't realize that reunion record that they made is
a different
kind of truth. It's virtually all material that they had.
They had vaulted, and they just reworked it, and it sounds great.
To good effect, man. Yeah, there's maybe a couple kind of clinker tunes on there, but there's some really strong ones. Or 2 that maybe could have made. I mean, maybe I would have had to do a top 30 songs, but there's some good ones. What is it?
She's the Woman.
She's the Woman.
It's great.
Big River.
Big River, really good.
Some people were torn about the song Tattoo, which I think was the lead.
Hate that
I think that was the lead single from it. I actually kind of like that.
You and Your Blues is really good. There's some good. Man.
She's the Woman is a dope one.
Love that song. Like, how did that song not make an album? Yeah. Like I said, it's just not. It's not disingenuous. It's just not.
Yeah. We might as well skip to. We should skip to your number 6 because I picked the same one.
Oh, did you pick the same one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know.
I had my whole life to love on that record, and I don't think it's really as.
I listened to it a lot. I
great as any of those original ones. But
well, let me just
it is in
start
there.
letting some motherfuckers down right away then. At number 6, from 1978, Van Halen 1.
Man,
We are
at the bottom.
we are splitting hairs here. Like the you have to rank them somewhere, and the is the narrowest margins.
I realize that there's not a lot of meat to
One of the best Van record covers, because let's be honest, they did not do album art very well. They could have gone in so many different directions. There's some shitty Van Halen record covers.
Yeah, I don't really.
There's nothing in this album. It's just I don't pick it up often.
Yeah.
But Running with the Devil, Ain't Talking About Love, Jamie's Crying, Feel Your Love, Little Dreamer, which is amazing, Ice Cream Man.
Little Dreamer is.
Come on, there's my kid walking by. Say hello. I mean, it's great, but I just think
almost okay. We'll talk about it later.
One of the best hard rock.
It's over.
Bro, how into my $4,000 bike?
Oh.
Yeah, my mountain bike sits in the living room. It does, because I don't like it to be out of my sight.
He had a heavy loaf of bread in his hand. It threw off his.
You're not supposed to have food in your room. Go, get out of here. That's why I love being live. One of the best hard rock debuts ever, but we are splitting hairs, and there are albums that I just love more than I love this one.
It's your world, dude.
And I know that I am a minority in that.
It's your world, dude.
I've just started to be in the minority. Wait till I get to the rest of my list.
All right, well, it's easy for me. To me, at the bottom is fun. And for this argument that you're making, splitting hairs, of course.
Oh yeah, we are just splitting hair. Like, it's so dumb narrow these margins are.
Putting this at the bottom does not in any way shape or mean that I hate it. It just pound for pound doesn't thrill me as much as the other ones. But there have been times where I loved this record, particularly for the songs on here. It's got some of my favorite tunes, or at least a couple of them. But then I don't know. I know people that say this is the trash of the Van Halen records. And I know people say this is the best.
There's that record's trash. There's no way. Like, you can't.
He's practically whining now.
I am.
There's no way.
Bullshit.
Like you said, you have to rank them somehow.
You have to. It's rough. It's rough. It is rough. Whew. 1980. Women and Children First at number 5. Another good cover. You don't see too many of them, but it's another good cover.
Yeah, they weren't at this point. They weren't really into conceptual art covers, but it's just kind of
Ted making the most out of it. I mean, you got "And the Cradle Will Rock," "Everybody Wants Some," "Take Your Whiskey Home." Dude, what an amazing...
some of my all-time favorite tunes.
Fools, Romeo Delight,
Lost of Control.
Right. Could This Be Magic? There's a lot of great on this, but I mean, just "And the Cradle Will Rock" and "Everybody Wants Some" are just powerhouses, and it's a great record.
Yeah.
Number 5.
VH2. It just doesn't feel as consistent from front to back to me.
VH2 is better than VH1. I've said it. I'll say it again. I'll say it all the time. And I like
if you're talking about the video music channel, I grant you that.
I like 2
but
better
if you're talking about the actual album by Van Halen,
I like 2 better than 1.
This is one that I just honestly, I don't put on front to back. I would actually pick the songs I want to hear off of it. So, sorry, guys.
Number 4, painfully low. But I mean, again, it has to be somewhere. And by no means the worst thing. 1982's Diver Down. Where have all the good times gone? Hang 'em high, little guitars, Big Bad Bill, Dancing in the Street, great cover.
That is a great cover.
Big Bad Bill.
Yes, that one.
Pretty Woman, great cover, amazing video.
I think
Cathedral Secrets.
I think that's part of it. Is
Happy
that you have
Trails.
Pretty Woman and Dancing in the Street back to back, which are both cover tunes.
Yeah.
This album does have Intruder, which is an important little Eddie Van Halen interlude. Hang 'em High was the track that jumped out at me right off the bat.
There's quite a few covers on here, which understandably that's why people rank it low. But is there another Van Halen record that's more fun than this?
That was
in the DLR.
That was the point I was about to make.
The DLR, not the, because you could make an argument that 5150 is their summer record, their Let's Be Happy record.
Someday, let's just do a whole episode of 150.
Absolutely, I fucking love that record. But in the DLR catalog, this is probably like their let's just have a blast record.
You're totally right. I was going to make that point. I think this is their ultimate party record, and I think that's why certain people really love that one, because maybe they had that time where they were rocking that record. Maybe if you were a senior in high school in 1982, I get that.
The people that never went diving had that sticker somewhere because of that record.
Yeah.
It's a blast. It's a fun.
You're almost turning me around on that. You're almost
come.
Then, would you like it if I put Van Halen 2 behind Diver Down?
Van Halen 2 is better than Diver.
Switch 5
and Van Halen 2 is obviously better than Diver Down, but. As Urge Overkill once said, come around to my way of thinking.
I'm not going to, but
you love the fact that I dropped a little Urge Overkill on the...
Urge Overkill doesn't have much to do with it. I just like that sentiment. Because sometimes there's certain people in your life that you really wish would come around to your way of thinking.
I mean, it wouldn't be much of a show if we agreed on everything.
We're going to agree on something at some point.
Nope. 100%. I already know what your one is, and 100% is not my number 1.
Well, this is my number 4.
4.
Yeah. And the Cradle Will Rock. Romeo Delight I didn't even put on my honorable mentions. That song rules, dude.
Good done. Still playing, what is that? Still playing the Kramer? Is that what that is? Did he still have his, this was still the yellow one, right? I think this was still his yellow. Yeah, because it's the split body.
Okay.
It's not the, damn. Can you imagine having that?
Looks like he's smoking a J right there.
Probably is. He probably is. Why would you not?
I don't know if Eddie's hair was ever that full.
I don't know. I should have done more research. But everyone of a certain age, you're not going to be able to see it. Everyone of a certain age would draw on their shit. Whoever came up with the Van Halen logo,
yeah,
good on you, dudes. You rocked it. How many times did you saw that somewhere?
Quite a few.
I always tried to make a V so it'd be GH.
Nice. I mean, I was certainly more obsessed with the Made Metallica logos, trying to draw those all the time.
I used to draw them all. We even drew the Twisted Sister one just because it was cool.
The TS, dude. I did on a
Super
bunch.
good.
That's not as easy as it looks.
No,
either.
It's not. God damn. Somewhere out there, Corey Schnieber has a, like, I got way too involved in drawing the Swan Song guy from Led Zeppelin in history class, and she has that still somewhere. It's like, that's the best. I don't draw. I can't draw for shit. That's the best drawing I ever did.
I used to be. I thought, man, this
great record.
Well, it's like, it kind of cuts a little deep here to split into the hairs, because you rank it, and then you start looking at all the tracks and actually playing those tricks in your mind, and then you go, damn.
Of the 6, we're not counting Some Kind of Truth or whatever. Of the 6, but there is that little bit of separation between the bottom 3 and the top 3, because the top 3 are just...
Yeah. And the only thing that I think might be a little harder than is maybe ranking the original Sabbath record or something. It's like those ones I always feel like you're listening to right now is the best one.
My Sabbath ranking is, if we went back to our Sabbath episode and pulled everything that isn't, because we didn't even do the entire discography, we just did our 5 favorites. Yeah. So if I were to pull everything out of there that isn't a Dio or whatever, it would never change, and it has never changed since the beginning of... My top 2 have always been my top 2. Maybe my top 3 have always been.
I find it tough, but I'm finding this tough
because I'm very much into doomy, stony kind of. Number 3, 1979, Van Halen 2. Van Halen 2 will always be better than Van Halen 1.
You would think that after the brilliance of Van Halen 1 that they would drop just another bomb right there. But I don't think it...
No, it is...
I'm just kidding.
You're No Good. Not written by Linda Ronstadt, but sung by Linda. And then they took it and they did their little spin. Dance the Night Away, Somebody Get Me a Doctor, Bottoms Up, Out of Love Again, Light Up the Sky, Spanish Fly, DOA, Women in Love, Beautiful Girls. Don't tell me 2 is not...
There's some tracks on there that
2 is
I
so much...
don't care
every
about.
fucking song is just...
There's some tracks that I never go to.
Completely overshadows.
I will say the Beautiful Girls smashes, and that should have been in my list. Dance the Night Away.
I love that song.
It's all right. Somebody Get Me a Doctor. That song slaps as well.
This whole record is just amazing and far superior than number 1.
That's Crazy Town.
Always.
Absolute Crazy Town.
1979. 1979.
We haven't even talked about how really just basically ahead of their time they were, dude.
Yeah.
1978, 79. So I'm saying nobody sounded like that. The shit that were their predecessors was not thinking of the kind of stuff they were, man. All right, dude. This one, talk about splitting hairs. This is tough for me because this is one that some days is my very favorite Van Halen record.
I for sure thought that was your...
Well,
holy shit.
I've done
3?
Just check it out. I've done this before where I let some other factors that I consider kind of put something into the position that is above an album that I actually kind of in my heart want to say is my very favorite. But do I think it's their greatest? It's a tough call, dude. Well, if it's any consolation, I have an extra sealed copy that I will only open in case of an emergency.
Should put this mother trucker in a frame, and
that's a sealed original stock right there. You can see.
Yeah, I mean that's just the most iconic image ever.
This record does not get the respect it deserves. The
At 3, I'm blown away. This is what you think it is, Holmes. Might want to stop taking it out of the.
That's sealed enough. Jump.
This is what's awesome about this record is it doesn't tell you the album title.
No.
You got to know that that's the Roman numeral for 1984.
You
Good luck
also
with that one,
you have
Junior.
to take the record out of the inner sleeve to see
get
the track listing.
Wow, number 3. I can't. I am dumbfounded. That means
Yeah,
what
you're not even
top
listening to
2
my
are.
explanation.
I'm just kind of blown away right now. Please
all right.
elaborate, illuminate,
Ruminate. It is what it is. It's probably my favorite. It came out at the right time for me.
Yeah.
I was 10 years old. Jump in Panama just hit me right off, and then Hot for Teacher. And then as you get a bit older, you recognize like All Wait.
Yeah.
Drop Dead Legs. And then, like I talked about already, House of Pain is up there as one of my very favorite Van Halen tunes. Just their best album work, or is it the most significant album they made? I don't know. I had to put it on the scales. That's how I do it.
All right. I'm not gonna pretend like I understand, but since we're talking about it, 1983's own 1984. Number 2 for me.
And it's your number 2?
Number 2. Not number 3. With as great as Van Halen 2 is, it's still the gravitas of what it did to the. They owned that year because of this record. There were so many amazing records that came out in '83, and this is one of the best of the year. 1984, Jump, Panama, Top Jimmy, Drop Dead Legs, Hot for Teacher, All Wait, Girl Gone Bad, House of Pain. What track do you skip?
Gone Bad.
What track do you skip?
You don't.
You don't.
It all the way
you don't skip one single track on this entire record. It is just banger after banger after banger.
Yeah. I agree,
Non-stop amazing.
Fucked up, dude.
But not my favorite. And I think my favorite's always been my favorite, but the album cover is iconic. The songs are iconic. The fashion is iconic. The musicianship.
Dude,
they were
for Jump. The other ones were iconic too, but that one was just so simple. Just them in some soundstage studio, and Dave's just dressed like
doing his little jump kicks and his spins,
he had kind of gotten as flamboyant as he ever was in Van Halen. He obviously kind of carried that even more into his early solo stuff. But yeah, you're just looking at that going, this guy is fucking cool, man.
Crazy from the Heat so effing expensive to get your hands on. That record is so difficult. But yeah, those first 3, that little EP, and then the first two
Dude,
Skyscraper